I think you're lying, Rasic. I think some of your men aren't fully licensed.
Hey guys, Church Jojo here, and today we'll be doing a review on the French F1 jacket. So, I did a review on the F1 jacket, well, the desert version a few months ago, but I didn't really go too much in my opinions. But now that I've worn this for around like 1 or 2 months, I can finally give my proper review. But with that said, let's take a look at the jacket itself.
The F1 combat jacket was introduced in 1980 as a replacement of the Satin 300, or commonly known as the M64. The F1 combat jacket was used by the French Army throughout the 80s and early 90s, seeing combat in Africa, Lebanon, and lastly, the Gulf War with the Desert Daguerre version. The F1 jacket also saw service within UN peacekeepers, most notably the Bundeswehr during its missions in Somalia and Cambodia. The F2 will be introduced in the early 90s, with the biggest difference being the removal of waist pockets. So here's the F1 jacket itself. Let's take a look at the tag. So this jacket is made in 1983 and features 4 pockets, two breast pockets, and 2 waist pockets. So for the breast pockets, it's secured by a zipper, and and these are the pockets I use the most on this jacket, mainly because for one thing, it has a lot easier access, and 2, it's a lot more secure. But that said, that doesn't mean that I don't use these pockets, as I only use them when these pockets are full. And so it's kind of a shame that the French Army removed these pockets for whatever reason, while not making this a lot bigger. So I don't know why they kept the same theme, but it is what it is. So the material itself is made of a cotton material, and I think this is a winter version, as there was a hot weather version. And even though it is pretty good during the heat, it does get sweaty. And when you open a jacket, you can see it's secured by buttons and these Velcro. For the buttons are a lot better than its predecessor, as it's a lot more thicker and doesn't come loose. So the sleeves is nothing special, as it's secured by this cuff. So for the snaps are actually pretty good. I actually quite like it better than the M65, which I believe is probably the worst implementation of the snaps. And this was meant to be an insignia, or like a Velcro insignia, but it's been removed at some point. You also get 2 Velcro tabs, one for the rank and one for the name tape. So with that said, it's a fairly good jacket, and I use it quite often. And I gotta say, even though I don't really wear jackets in the heat, what I usually use something that's hot weather, and this is probably one of them. So here's a side-by-side comparison of the F1 and Satin 300. So as you can tell, these jackets are fairly similar in design. However, there are a few key differences. So with the Satin 300, other than being darker in color, it features 2 drawstrings in the midsection and the bottom, a different pocket design with a lining attached to it, as well as some buttons, and lastly, a detachable hood. But with that said, I do prefer the F1 jacket, mainly because of its shorter length. It's a lot easier to get access to my pockets rather than this jacket where it gives me a little bit of trouble. I forgot to mention this, but both jackets have gas flaps. However, with the Satin 300, the gas flaps go all the way to the jacket, whereas the F1 is fairly short. And also, the F1 did have drawstrings, but it's been since removed. With that said, that's pretty much it. Overall, this is a fairly decent jacket, as it not only it has all the pockets you need, but also its short length make it a lot easier to get access
to your pockets, as most jackets are pretty difficult to get access to easily. So as for the price, these jackets go for around like 20 to 30 bucks, but if you can find it for less than 20, definitely pick this up. But with that said, that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and that's it. Bye.